welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague live here from Ninjoping at DreamHack Winter 2015. We are going the distance here in this first best of 3 series of the day. It is Vega Squadron taking on 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun. And 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun were able to take the second game, making the score a 1-1. And Vega Squadron, could they have done anything to prevent this result, Lumi?
I mean, I thought the first bad gank that failed was like, okay, you know, Vega...
Disaster.
Yeah, it was disastrous. And I was like, oh no, Bambo, he's going to tilt. And that was it. But
they brought it back.
again, very disciplined play. Like, second game in a row where like, you know, they did everything they needed to do. And it looked like a great game for 4CL. I know we have a lot to analyze here, but I'm more hyped for game 3 than I'm like for the NIP crowd over there. Like, can Lightning strike twice? Because if 4CL beats Vega, I think that would be a huge storyline coming into this tournament.
Yeah, that'd be a big upset. That being said, Vega still would have an opportunity to come back to the lower bracket where they would still have like, you know, equal opportunity going into the day 2 bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that game?
Well, I think we had a couple of questions about Batrider, how it would work. I think it worked really well. Funny enough, the moment he got the 4-staff, Vega just, every time they tried to push a tower with the DP, just got pulled in behind the tower, they killed it off. I think the first big problem for Vega in that game was actually when they tried to play aggressive in the bottom lane, they moved in and they got killed off 2 heroes. It's difficult for Vega, I think, to not play aggressively, first of all with their heroes, but also with their players. But that was not the fight they should have picked. It's easy to say in retrospect, but
So you mean the fight of around 60 minutes on the bottom lane?
I think it was, the score was only like 2-0, and it was before 16. I think it was like 10, 11 minutes maybe. They tried to fight, they gave 2 kills away, Batrider almost got, I think, a 13-minute 4-staff and blink, which is ridiculous timing. That just, that was what they needed for the game.
I think it actually had a lot to do with the Lich as well. We saw the power of, like, Juggernaut was like so underfarmed that they weren't afraid to like blow everything on the Death Prophet. It's like, we can doom him, we can do everything, we can use everything. And then Juggernaut's just kind of like, okay, and then they have to kind of run away.
There was a fight where he got Lasso, Doom, and Fiend's Grip. They're like, okay, let's throw everything. And he was spinning, like he wasn't even taking magic damage.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Or whatever.
We actually have a replay selected, or rather Lumi has selected a replay for us to look at. Let's take a look at that one.
So I think this is the one where Cinderin brought up that the blink and 4-staff play against the first push that Exorcism was used, and he got
16-minute mark.
Yep. He got dragged so far back, and they again commit everything for him. And here's where I think we should pause. Like, if you look at the Slaughter, today Demon didn't have a good Slaughter game, couldn't farm Blink, and I think this is one of the latest Blink timing. I think that was one of the in-game stat that came up. If he had Blink there and you commit into a 3-hero crush, maybe the fight would have been a lot better for them. But if you roll the replay, Slaughter sprints in trying to do something, and then he's like, okay, this fight goes badly, and then he sprints back out. And that's where the Chain Frost,
there he goes.
Chain Frost on the back line, it's just brutal. Like, it just picks up 3 kills for the team.
It's actually a really big mistake from Mag that he doesn't crush there. He's already in melee range with 2 or 3 heroes. If he crushed, they maybe cut their losses down to 2, or maybe only 1 hero, actually.
Game-changing fight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking forward to the 3rd game here. We've seen both of the teams have their strengths. We've seen them both win once. Now that we know them both, what do you think? You're still favoring Vega?
I still think Vega's the better team. Every single game we've seen here so far, DreamLeague has been pretty one-sided. So I hope the 3rd game is, you know, a little more back and forth. That being said, this is the first game that Vega didn't have like the better team fight. So for example, like in previous games when they would go to push that tier 1 tower, they were going to win that fight no matter what. This game a bit different.
Shane, what do you think? You had, of course, the solo Night Stalker this time once again. Didn't work this time. Are we going to see it again?
I think it actually works very well in game 1. And the reason it didn't work in this game, I think, has a lot to do with the Lich, actually, like completely shutting down their safe lane. You know, they weren't able to group up as a team. Their supports were so underfarmed that it didn't really do as much. So I actually think the Doom or the Lich are the issue.
Yep. 4CL got so much out of the laning phase that when Vega decided it was time for them to group up and go push, they just didn't have like the items and farm that they needed to contest out the Doom and the Blink Rider on bat.
Because the last push they did where the Slaughter actually had the Blink, he sprinted in one direction, caught 1 hero, they got a quick pick, and then they backed off, right? And then it was Batrider that came back and got the kill, and that forced the GG. But we saw that in that fight, when the Slaughter did have the item, they could definitely play that high-tempo, aggressive playstyle. But like you said earlier, when they chose to push, when they didn't have the item, it was just really tough. So
That's a lot down to Bambo as well, and there's 1v1 matchup against this ladder. Like, it's favored for Batrider, obviously, but
it was Bane, Bat versus Slaughter. That Slaughter was
Not a fun
getting
lane.
nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
That being said, going into game 3, I don't think that they're going to give up Doom again, especially. I think that, you know, so unless they want to ban Lich first too, I think the Doom Lich was just the big problem for them in the early game.
A lot will depend also on first pick, because in a way, it was actually for Clovers that let the Doom go through. As they banned out Darkseer and Dazzle, making, I mean, still Vega banned out the IO and the Shadow Fiend. They kind of have to ban out those two as well. So it's really a question of who's getting it first pick.
Thing is, when 4 Clovers are in Dire, you can choose to let both Shadow Fiend and Doom through in that situation and make a trade-off at least. This time around, they basically served them the Doom on a platter, and their trade-off was Sargar and was it Wyvern?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not a bad setup, but it's not Doom tier, I would say, in this first phase. And it even gives 4 Clovers a counter pick before they go into the second phase. I think Vega made it a little bit too easy for them.
Is it worth trading Shadowfiend for Doom, though?
In some cases, I would argue when the enemy team is Dire and you can give them Shadowfiend, you can get Doom +1. That's also like a Doom counter and a hero that's good against Shadowfiend. For example, the Wyvern's actually okay.
Wyvern's good versus Shadowfiend. Doom isn't the best against Shadowfiend because Shadowfiend's totally okay with just sitting there right-clicking.
Okay, well, we're going to figure out soon who's going to be first pick and who is going to pick what as well. Before that, though, let me just quickly remind you that you can still go to facebook.com/ROG Nordic, where you can put in your vote for the MVP of this LAN finals. And you have a chance there of winning the graphics card. It is a GTX 980, and it's standing right over there. And it's golden. It is actually limited edition, and this is actually one of the few ones that you can actually still have, and soon you'll be able to show. There you go. Wow. You can use your promo skills real well.
Very impressive.
And if you want to have a chance of winning even more prizes, you can go to Corsair.com/DreamHack15 to win the
Ultimate gaming
setup. I got you.
I was about to say experience.
We gotta do it. So we say like one word each.
The setup will probably give you the experience.
Ooh.
Get it? Yeah, it's good. You can go there, Corsair.com/DreamHack15. Make sure to check that out. So far, we have seen, I've already asked you the MVPs of these two teams. You're sticking with your choices. It was Bambo in game for Clovers.
It's Bambo Bat right there. That was.
Bambo Bat, yeah.
I mean, how often do we see Batrider work out? That was
true.
awesome.
Okay, well, we're going to find out what the teams are going to have in store for each other, because we are actually in the draft. It is time for the bans. It is Vega that has the first pick, so they have a slight edge here in terms of being able to perhaps let some more heroes through, so they have some more choices in their first draft. They go for the Undying removal and instantly Doom removed. They do not want to deal with that.
Are they going to leave the Wisp in? First pick it? What do you think?
I think they ban Wisp and try to get SF, and if SF gets banned by 4 Clovers, they can just grab, for example, their Wyvern. Oh, they actually banned. Oh, wow. All right. That's not what I expected at all. Yeah, they want the IO then, or they really want 4 Clovers to get in.
If they IO though, doesn't 4 Clovers just instantly answer with Tiny and summon?
I could do that.
I mean, it's not. Bambo's down to play Tiny
Exactly,
for sure.
yeah.
Early on in, early on today when Vega was playing against Team Empire, it was actually mentioned, I think, by Lumi that IO for Vega Squadron has not been really looking all too hot. They've been not doing well with the IO Tiny.
They've been losing a lot of games.
Yeah.
I'm pretty surprised they put themselves in this situation, actually. This was not what I expected at all. I don't think Vega needed to do this. Sure, it's great, it puts pressure. I agree 100%. You're going to grab the Tiny now, probably for 4 Clovers. You know how to play it without the IO.
Yeah.
Let's give them a chance, guys.
And you get their...
I'm sure they got something.
You get their secondary choice as well. We might see perhaps 4 Clovers can snatch the Wyvern that we've seen Vega play twice. It's a good pick against IO. It's a good pick for Saxa.
I like
Also,
Wyvern.
it makes it harder to pick heroes like Chaos Knight as well, you know, like these massive illusion heroes.
That is true.
Comboed up with the...
I think you want to take away the Bane, because we've seen a lot of teams using Wisp and Bane together.
Yeah.
And Bane really secures Wisp's early weak laning stage, because, you know, Bane in front line is
And you
punch
set
you hard.
up for relocate.
Yeah.
Being Tiny is a hell of a mid lane.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's really
hard.
strong.
Let's see if 4 Clovers might want to go for that one, because they can still go for the Bane as well.
At the same time, if you don't grab the Wyvern, you probably... Vega, do they want to show their Wyvern IO as the first two? I'm not sure. Okay, they do that. There's the Bane now for Vega if they do want that one. I think...
Or do you grab the Night Stalker, because they seem to like that more.
Solo plays IO though for the team, and Solo
That's
also
true.
plays Night Stalker for the
That's
team.
true.
So you got to make a choice.
I'm thinking AA is actually good against both Wyvern and Tiny. Tiny has really high health, so the percentage of Shatter is really strong. And then
look out for Max Beastmaster this game.
Yeah, that's
Great combo with Wisp.
That is true.
I'm going to mostly look forward to seeing perhaps the Disruptor from Seema in this game, because I feel like that will really fit with their lineup as well. And he likes to play that hero. I think it fits in their lineup.
Disruptor IO is just a little bit weak early on. Neither of the heroes has great damage output. I mean, Spirits are okay, but landing them reliably is very difficult, so you rely a lot on your cores to do damage, which you've got Gyro, that's fine, right?
He's an early fighting hero.
It depends on the other lanes, what they can set up.
The thing is, all these supports that we've been mentioning, the Disruptor, the AA, it's just free for the Tiny once you get the Blink, which I guess is always true when Tiny gets the Blink. It's just, I don't know if there's some supports you could pick that's less susceptible to that.
Wraith King.
Wraith King support?
Yeah.
When's the last time we've seen that, actually?
I think Bane with a cloak survives, actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
They kind of like the Sables regardless. On the side of Vega Squadron, that is. As Brood gets removed, still the threat. I mean, we saw Brood removed a few games ago as well against Vega Squadron. It's just a threat that Vega has.
I think PPD's right on the money though. They need that like setup like Bane or Beastmaster. I think they'd be happy with either of them.
I think both.
Yeah.
Both of them. Both seems fine. Just take both.
Let's not be greedy here. It's good.
Take all the heroes.
They're both great heroes.
Which one do you think is more important then, if they only get one?
I think Mag on Beastmaster is pretty game winning, so I'd go with that.
Is that enough to deal with the Tiny?
It's pretty good against
Beast
Tiny.
is very good against Tiny.
You just put the Boar on him as well in team fights.
Boar's annoying. Roar is obviously great.
It's really good with Wisp. It's like really easy to split push the map with Wisp. If you have Hawk Vision, it's really easy to run around with Gyrocopter and push lanes, and then when you do find that Roar, then the real kick comes in and you just burst someone down.
Do 4CL ever put the Tiny on someone else than Bam?
No.
No.
100% no.
Irresponsible.
What is their reasoning behind the Lich ban?
10 seconds remaining.
Just
It
don't
was
want to
annoying
play.
last game.
Yeah, they just want to play against it.
Generally doing dual
5
lanes against
seconds
Wisp is the
remaining.
best way to go. Wisp isn't, he's strong in like the mid lane, but he's not like the strongest in other lanes. So
Reserve time.
if you kind of do like a 2-1-2 setup and kind of sack your mid lane,
Radiant team
that's
pick.
a strategy a lot of teams try against IOs.
This is a very good ban, by the way. The Bristleback IO together against Tiny is very strong. Of course, your physical damage only on the Bristle against Wyvern again, but it's just a combination of Bristle and Gyro. You force out the Cold Embrace with Bristle, and then Gyro has all his stuff. It would have been a very good pick for Vega, I think, and no one plays it very well. This is solid drafting for 4 Clovers. I really like what they're doing so far.
Bane is great this game. Enfeeble versus Gyrocopter, always good. There's Tusk.
Finally!
First Tusk of the tournament.
Radiant team pick.
I said finally to Tusk. I mean, it's not like I'm super excited, yay, we get to see Tusk, but more like, why haven't we seen it yet?
Tusk is fun. I like
Just how good
Tusk.
it is.
There's
It's
a
really fun to
gigantic
play.
snowball.
Like, what was it in a Frankfurt Major 99% pick ban, I think? Might have been one game, maybe one game where it didn't get picked or ban.
I have recently learned that Tusk is a really good hero for...
Period.
No, that too. But for people that actually don't normally watch Dota, and they just glance over, and there's like this gigantic
10
snowball on the
seconds
screen.
remaining.
Like, what the hell is
Like,
happening?
oh,
And people actually
what's
are drawn
that?
in by that. It's
Maybe I
like
should
people
play this
like
game.
that. Like that.
It's very easy to follow the action.
Vegas
Yeah,
It is.
there's very
It's
few
fun
spells
to
where the
pick.
actual, like the noise makes so much sense with the animation. Like when you just see a punch, you know exactly what's going on. Like, anyone
When
can
you
see
see
it.
gigantic snowballs, like, whoa, you can,
Yeah.
you can get hyped about that. You don't need to know anything about the game. You see gigantic snowball, you're hyped, even if you don't watch Dota.
So are we going to see a carry shaker?
No, EGM.
I mean, you got...
I don't know, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's Core Shaker for Bambo. Oh, wait, it can't.
No.
Yeah.
Pycat mid Shaker?
10
sure
seconds
Pycat can play
I can
Tiny.
play Tiny as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pycat
Did
might
he?
play
But
Tiny.
they never play Tiny on anyone else.
5
Until now.
seconds remaining.
So
They're
we
being
got
really,
a problem here.
They're being really stretched.
We got a problem.
Are they gonna go for the no logic gaming strat,
Reserve
having a
time.
core Bane?
Core
We've seen,
Bane,
we've
yeah.
seen core Bane a
Yeah.
lot
Core Bane.
in the hands of Mitch. It could be.
Well, you never know, Just have to wait and find out.
Radiant team back.
Was this the pick?
That's a good question.
I mean, you talked about how Tiny's naturally very good against Ember, and I tend to agree with that.
Hello everyone and welcome back.
I guess you're just saying we're going to have a very hard to take lineup? Is that the goal?
You have the save with the Wisp though, the sustain heal. get through it.
They have tools against the Tiny as well. That have the Snowball to back up the Ember against Grip getting caught by Fissure.
Reserve time.
It's a comfort pick for them as well. I'm not sure. This, again, 4 Clovers with...
Turn to
I
battle.
think they're doing pretty much everything right so far in this draft with the Beastmaster ban now.
There's still a Windrunner in the pool as well. I think Windrunner suits the draft very well.
Radiant team picked.
Pretty good against Ember to catch. Decent against IO.
I think Windrunner is good.
I mean, here's the thing. We're saying that you got some defensive plays, and it was the same thing last draft. Like, Wyvern could have helped people out, but the way that the game developed, 4CL just split the map. They went for a lot of solo picks, and honestly, when Tiny jumps on Wisp or jumps on the Tusk, it is a solo pick so fast that you can't really react to it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the game's going to develop in that scenario. Now with the possibility of a Shaker core, you get that early blink and more solo picking potential.
Do you think there's a possibility here for 4 Clovers to do something similar to last game, like not identical, but just play maybe the Tiny solo safe lane against, for example, Tusk, and then you can put so much pressure on the Ember Spirit with one support, either the Bane or
They might
both
do
Bane Shakers?
they might do a similar draft like that. Have the Wyvern kind of camp mid, and then just do like a Bane Tiny safe lane, and let Bambo play the Tiny, and then let Pycat play like a more carry hero mid. Let's see, what's in the pool? What's in the pool? There's still
Windrunner,
TA.
right?
Windrunner, yeah, Windrunner's
This is
good.
not a TA game. Is it?
No, it's not awesome. No. Not the
I
best.
still think Windranger out of 4 Clovers' active pool is probably
I like Windranger.
the best pick. Of course, again, you can't pick against Tusk. In the best way you pick, like you prepare for the Snowball and then you have counterplays, but you can't be like, oh, Snowball technically counters everything, right? If no matter what you catch someone with, if Tusk is not in it, he can always save with a Snowball. So you could say Shackle Shot, well, they can just Snowball out of it, but just forcing them to Snowball save puts them in a really bad position against 4 Clovers team fight. So anyone who starts the fight for them, any engage.
That's true. It's
in
another
that
game
lane
where I
is
don't
good.
think Vega has the best team fight.
Yeah.
Is there a hero that Vega could pick that could remedy that?
Let's see.
No.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think you can team fight 4 Clovers with that kind of draft.
Get the Tide Hunter, man.
Tide.
Sure, it's
I just don't know if they have the damage when there's a mech on 4 Clovers, but they need a mech carrier, of course, for that to happen. They don't really have that yet.
What about something that gives them team fight, like Silencer? Maybe it weakens your laning stage, but global, you drop the call down, you get some Ember stuff in there.
Silencer could
Silencer
be
is
interesting.
actually cool. I like that idea a
Good
lot.
against Winter Wyvern as well.
But your support duo then sound very, very weak. So
Yeah.
that's
Seconds remaining.
You need to be careful with your lanes, but it's a little bit. It's always a special case when your offlaner, like Tusk in the offlane, is just so fundamentally different in how good he is on level like 3. Most offlaners you need to get like level 6,
Right.
In order to really help your team out. Tusk level 3, he can just roam mid, TP top and gank that lane or whatnot. So they can actually get away with the silencer if they want. But still, I don't know.
Magnus.
If I'm Vega now, I try probably to really play the split push game. The problem is they've already locked in their 2 farming cores, so they can't really go for something like, say, an AM and just really try to split any more than they have.
Yeah, looks like a support Venomancer game to me.
5
What do you make of the
seconds
Magnus,
remaining.
BD?
More team fight from 4CL, just like in game 2. Their team fight is superior. I'm not sure there's a pick that Vega can make right now that, you know, give them enough team fight to really fight. The Silencer was an interesting suggestion. That's definitely a possibility. They could take fights
What
until
about Centaur?
4CL has BKBs, Centaur.
You know, you
not
can-
awesome. There's like 5 disables on 4CL, so Centaur ult may not be proved to be the most effective. I generally like Centaur against like Doom and Queen of Pain, heroes like that.
Well, they're taking their time, that's for sure.
The Zeus comes back to mind again. I don't know if they can do like a dual lane with Gyrocopter bottom, but
Yeah, they could do this like a support Zeus, I suppose, or not sure. I think that Veno or Silencer seems
Dazzle?
pretty good.
oh, Dazzle's still in the pool.
Dazzle,
Shallow graving, the target that they go on.
Dazzle's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Dazzle's always just an okay. Like,
Minus armor for flat cannon and
Good
for
hero.
sleight of fist. They might have to play it that way. And just if the team fights drag out long enough and 4 Clovers don't
10
land their
seconds
abilities very well against the Grave, they can actually win the fight with Weave.
yeah, but surely something from 4CL is gonna stick. Like the Fiend's Grip, Wyvern Ult, Tiny Combo, Echo
Something-
Slam,
something
RP.
has worked. And there's the
Silencer.
Silencer.
There you
good
go.
call, Lumi.
Lumi with the
call,
Silencer
Lumi.
call.
6k
Impressive.
ever more.
There
So
you go.
who's
He's a new man, reborn.
Whose draft do you favor?
I like 4 Clovers a lot here.
I like Vegas a lot, but it's a lot harder to execute.
I agree.
These 4CL, they
That's-
just gotta click their spells on the heroes and then
Things to look out for?
Global silence.
ultimates from
Ultimates.
4CL.
Maybe the
Are the
first fight
ultimates
around that the first tower push.
First fight around the first tower push. We're gonna find out who is gonna take this series. It is time for Vega Squadron taking out a 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun with Odie, Pixel, and Rascal.
Indeed, and here we have it, the third deciding match between 4 Clovers and the side of Vega Squadron, and some very interesting picks. We've got, of course, the side of 4 Clovers going for that full-on team fight. Vega Squadron, they say, we'll bring a silencer to the fight.
I mean, I always love seeing stuff that's a little bit different, right? I mean, of all the teams to run silencer, this is one of the few CS teams that actually doesn't run it too much. I know Illidan has played core silencer in the past on VP and things like that, but they're a team I haven't seen run it too much, but it is a good pick just to have that counter initiation. You go in, you go for like an RP, or you go for a Fiend's Grip. Like that's the thing that comes to my mind immediately is Fiend's Grip, because it's so easy to just drop the global on that.
Yeah.
So definitely a solid pick here. But Vega's early game fighting potential is not too bad. I think this is probably one of the more even drafts that we've had in the sense that both teams kind of want to try to do the same thing. They both want to fight with their heroes, but as PPD said on the panel, 4CL's team fight is just insane.
I mean, 4CL's draft this game, do you think they've kind of looked at what they did in game 2 and said, we kind of want to do more of the same of that, but in a different way here?
Yeah, it's different because in the second game, Vega had a lineup where they were running around with the DP and they wanted to just 5-man around one ulti. But this game, they have a lot more avenues of taking fights. And I still think in the early lane, like this mid Ember Wisp, for example, against Mag and Winter Wyvern, I honestly think that if Vega can control the runes, the lane should come out on top. But if for whatever reason they're not able to do so, then I can actually see the Nikwa Saksa lane going well for them here mid.
You have been
Okay, I mean, that's your mid lane, your top lane. So we are seeing the off lane Shaker, of course, come out from Bambo. He had quite the game earlier today on this one. And this time he's going to have to deal up against this Gyrocopter and Silencer lane, which, I mean, that can't be a nice one to lane against.
Yeah, this is actually a disaster for an Earthshaker. Like, anytime you even are in experience range, you're going to be getting hit by Flat Cannon. And obviously, you have to start with boots, because otherwise, one Rocket Barrage can just kill you.
Mid lane, Saxy just trying to go in with the Arctic Burn Harass, creating that space here for Nikwa. And finally, this bottom lane, so Pycat, he's going to be on the Tiny, of course. When you watch 4 Clovers, you know, you kind of think of Bambo being the Tiny man, but Pycat, he's going to show us how to do it in the position 1.
The biggest difference for me, 4CL running Tiny, when Bambo plays it, he's never a core Tiny, ever. He's always just off lane. He builds mobility items all lane, so we can see Mag just punching the crap out of Pycat right here.
Just kind of what
he's got snowball. He might be dead.
All right, this is... Who's got the better movement speed here through? Okay, they've got a bang.
Ooh, there we go.
Nearly body blocked Pycat there. That was close, and they're clarity up. They want to try and turn this with the brain sap. All right, I think they should be able to. The salve has been cancelled. Pycat hasn't quite got enough mana, though, for anything.
He's so fast!
Oh.
All right. I think EGM should have at least been able to get one more auto there, right? Because he's 315. I don't know, it's close. I guess the creep wave kind of blocked him a bit.
That was very, very close. Seeing both sides nearly lose someone there. Mid lane, no one. Moving in with the change and the Flame Guard. Also, the equip back has been tethered up, but in comes the Wyvern to harass them and hold them back. Make sure they can't advance anymore on this Magnus, and it's going to be alright here for the time being.
And Arctic Burn is just so strong. It's like you get one hit on each hero, guarantees a base of 40% damage that you're just dealing, because it's 8% health burn over 5 seconds, or every second for 5 seconds. Such a strong support hero in the early game. But again, it's not even just about the fact that the Wyvern's strong here, it's for 4CL. Unlike what Vega are going to be able to do, they can just go and stack freely, where the Wisp has been sent back to base already. So the person that's going to have to do the stacking on the side of Vega outside of the Wisp is probably just going to be Zioma. He's going to have to go into the jungle and just get that stuff done. So that way the Ember can go back and clean it up, or the Gyro can go drop cooldown on it once he hits 6.
And of course, well, it's, we're talking about the team fight for Clovers, but we can't write off the fact that Vega, once they hit some of these ultimates, once the Gyro gets level 7, and you've got maybe you've got the relocate on the eye, they're going to be very happy looking for the fights themselves as well, and trying to force them potentially before 4 Clovers have those big pickups, such as the Blink Daggers. Because you look at 4 Clovers lineups, they're going to be wanting a Blink on the Shaker, they're going to be wanting a Blink on the Mag, and they may even be wanting to get a Blink as early as possible on Pycat on this Tiny.
Yeah, that's the thing about 4CL's lineup, is even if their lineup is really good in 5 versus 5, they're still good in small fights too, right? Because Tiny Burst is always going to be very scary to deal with, especially with like a Wisp and a Silencer. Those heroes just explode, right? So they're not even 100% reliant on things like RP, which I think is a really good thing for a lineup with Mag, because having an RP on top of terrifying pickoff potential.
Nightmare onto Mag is going to set them up for the toss combo here, and that's
Nice.
enough.
Very good.
Easy pick off there for PyCap.
But yeah, as I was saying, like having the RP in conjunction with the rest of their team fight makes their lineup that much scarier.
On top lane, we were talking about Bambo maybe having a hard time. He's not even able to find 4 CS, but he has still managed to find some levels at least on the Shaker.
Yeah. I think they're sacking him a lot harder this game than they do normally. Like in the previous game we saw him play it, he had, what, 14.5-minute Arcane's Blink? Like that was disgusting timing. He's having a much harder time this game against the safe lane of Vega. And rightfully so. I mean, Silencer is a very good zoning hero.
Now EGM, just seeing if he can get himself in position to go on Mag. There isn't quite the mana here for the 1-2 combo on the Tiny. In fact, the Bane going very deep here and maybe just looking to use this to wrap around towards the mid lane and maybe see if they can catch out the mid, or is he just gonna hang? I mean, I guess he's deciding which way to go, EGM, to see if one or more mid lane's gonna be the play. And more mid lane, he's moving in, forcing back Nikwa. Both no one and Solo there. And yeah, looks like EGM is gonna make his way towards the mid.
It's been a pretty slow early game, but if you look at the CS overall, like obviously Gyro's getting like total free farm. PyCat is shortly behind him, and then Nikwa is 1 CS behind the Tiny. So it's pretty even throughout all the lanes, and just a lot of stacking going on from both teams. So maybe the least action-packed laning phase we've seen so far.
Oh, no one moving in on Nikwa, pops the chains, but Nikwa has got that skewer. We saw, of course, EGM unable to find anything. They do have that high ground ward there that dies, so they knew what was up. And just checking out the jungle here, Saxa, he's going to see that the stacks have been created. He's getting a bit of intel for his side. He needs to be careful, though, as he's a little bit in no man's land here. Has got that ward there, so knows not to walk around the corner. And, well, Mag and EGM actually, I think he's just trying to body block up this rune and make sure he gets it.
I think he saw the courier, too. Oh, he's not
Okay, Mag could be dead here. They've got the combo at the toss, the avalanche, the right clicks. I mean, the power of the Tiny just shown there once he's got a few levels. He can blow up most heroes on the map at this point, and well, maybe they'll find more 4 clovers. They've already found 2 kills so far this game. They're trying to move in. There is a cooldown of Passion looking for the turn, and Nature Ember Spirit turning up. All right, at the right time. And that's the thing about this here. They're just getting himself in there straight away with the TP and the Remnants. Very nice awareness.
Did he just hit level 6 on Gyro? I want to say he was like barely level 6 when that started.
Yeah, he just got a double kill and he's halfway through it. So he literally must have just hit level 6. And yeah, huge fight there for Vega, getting 2 big kills.
That was also an extremely fast reaction from the Ember Spirit. Like he TP'd like boom instantly as soon as he saw that fight starting off, just to ensure that they could get both of those kills under their belt. So nice stuff coming out from Vega. They get themselves on the board here in game number 3.
Now still in this mid lane. Nikwa's been finding a lot. You know, looking at the CS, 36 against the 34, so has done very well in comparison. And he's going to be able to get a decent enough timing on the blink if it continues this way, but no one. He's going to go in, and he's actually going to get skewered back here. There's a Fisher as well with a brain sap. He's got a remnant though, and will be healed back up by Solo. And this is one of those things in terms of the catch potential. I guess I know they do have a lot of stuns, but to really secure themselves a kill on the Ember, do you feel that they need really the RP or the Winter's Curse or the Fiend's Grip? Because at the end of the day,
those are the surefire kills.
Yeah,
those are what you really want. I mean, until PyCat picks up his Blink Dagger and you have that insane burst,
yes,
if you can catch him with his Flame Guard down, you can definitely kill him with a tiny combo during the mid game, or at the very least start the fight going in your favor. But for now, I think both teams again are just totally content to farm. They're not really contesting the stacks just yet. Like Saxa is sitting over here, he knows that they have it. And you do have a Magnus on your team and a Tiny. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 4CL maybe go for a smoke play, try to contest the jungle and take those stacks away. Because if you do that, that's going to be relocate delayed for a long time. Like Solo's not going to get credit for those. Take it away from the Gyro.
I mean, Saxa is spending a lot of time around this jungle. I mean, what is he aiming to do here at the moment?
He's the keeper of the stacks.
Okay.
He's actually just sitting here.
I mean,
he wants to know exactly when they come over here and start doing this, because that means you can send Mag over. And it looks like, speaking of, he's going to be smoked up here. Yeah, they just want to take the stacks. They're not even looking to fight. They just want to steal this. This is a really good play.
I mean, I guess with the shockwave they can, yeah. A couple of shockwaves should be able to do it.
When they see the mag missing too, like this is so not obvious. Because if just the mag is gone, you might expect he's going to go for a gank. but you can't say for sure if he's
I
going
don't
to
know.
do
I
this.
think
It's under attack.
they want to check it out. You've got no one in there.
They're not going to... Oh, they saw him low
Yeah.
ground.
Oh, Randall's a bit off the mark there, but there's the second one to move in onto Nikwa. Nikwa, I think he's been rumbled. He's got the skewer though. Bring no one down, but well, with the
I think he
slow
still does.
from the tether. Yeah, there's no way Nikwa gets out of this one. And there we have it. Tusk Mag comes in for the kill with the rotation. And as much as he would have liked to take away some of the fun, which he did, there was a little bit going down there in the middle camp, but he does pay with his life.
I think if he was standing a little bit farther to the left, like, I don't think Vega knew he was there. I think they just spotted him on the low ground. I think that's what ended up happening. So if he was standing on the top of the stairs or a little bit farther towards the river, they wouldn't have seen him because they didn't have a word.
Oh, okay, Cornan comes out. Pycat did come in with the TP. Is the combo not tossing him back towards the tower? And oh, with the snowball though, they're going to be able to keep people alive, and Pasha survives, turns it around with a double kill. And the power of the Tusk being shown there as Mag just turns around what was very close to Pasha going down. And meanwhile, mid lane, more things happening for the side of Vega. They do get RP, but they've already found themselves a third kill. And now they just look for Nikwa. He's going to skewer back no one, but no one. He's got Solo there on the sidelines. Will drop a random. The chains are not going to latch onto Nikwa, so he's got to get himself up, but the shockwave was there. Ends up catching the Emma Spirit. Now Solo in a bit of trouble. There's going to be a shockwave again in a second, but Solo bottling up. It should be fine now. Okay, no, he's not. Bambo's there. Throws down a Fisher. Shockwave to come through as well. And so Vega, they find a nice double kill top. They look for some action mid. But Four Clovers are able to turn it around and keeping this game pretty much as close as game 2 was of this series.
And with the contention of the stack, Nikwa actually got a decent amount
He's got his blink
of
now,
that
hasn't he?
medium camp. Yeah, like that secures the
done.
blink. So, yeah, very close early game so far. There's a slight lead for Vega right now, but it's probably going to be dipping back into Force Steel's favor after those 2 kills get exchanged. And they do have a significant amount of damage, like a Blink RP skewer. The Tiny doesn't have his Blink yet, but that's okay, because as long as the Mag can bring the heroes to Tiny, then you can still get the maximum damage out. And this Tiny is level 9 now, so he has the fully maxed out combo. That kills any hero on Vega, like easily. No one can live through that, not even Pasha.
It looks like Pycat is going to go for the blink straight up after the Dreads. So just having that amount of initiation between himself and this Magnus. It's going to be pretty scary here for the side of Vega.
And they also, the other thing too to keep in mind is Sioma's almost level 6.
Yes, yeah.
So
Silencer.
that could be one thing we could be looking towards to see some kind of counter initiation start to come out from Vega. And Mag is level 7, so regardless of his 2 early deaths, he still is very high level. You compare that to Bambo's level 5.
Yeah, we saw Mag make those great rotations, and that's really helped keep him at the top of his game.
Relocate.
Okay, here we go for a bit of action on Bambo, and then they're going to find it. Got him pretty down fairly low with the harassment from the Silencer, and just sending those in to pick up the kill. That's going to be a bit of a plus intel here for Showman. He's actually sitting on +6 at the moment, so not too bad 11 minutes in for this support Silencer.
Yeah, the support Silencer for me is really just a tool to stop the full combo from Force Steel coming out. And it is a pretty easy lineup to global against too, because as soon as you see one spell cast, like 1 RP or the Tiny blinks in or something like that, you global on it, and then you try to re-engage with your call down and your Ember Spirit, right? Because it's very hard to run away from that. So they have a method of starting the fight themselves and a relocate and a global, and they can also use it defensively.
Okay, and well, Pycat is going to be going for something a little bit different here. It isn't going to be your blink, it's going to be your Shadow Blade. Bambo sold that thought as he could be in trouble, and Nikra is there, but there's your global silence, and that's what we're talking about, enabling them to turn it. And now Nico's the one in trouble. They have sent Pycat in. The RP will come out onto 2. And maybe they can turn this Four Clovers. The Winter's goes onto Pasha. Pycat will be able to keep himself alive. He's even against the Fiend's grip, but the Rocket Barrage is there. They found themselves a second. Can they find themselves anything more here? Moving in onto the Winter Wyvern at the same time towards the top. Matt gets the punch down as he gets himself a double kill. The Wyvern only just getting him away. Oh, the Spirit's going to touch. Oh, he can't quite get himself close enough solo. And I've got to be honest, that was the global silence doing exactly what Vega drafted it to do.
Yeah, that was the ideal scenario. So they get the steering chains. They know they're going to get a kill for sure, as long as no counter initiation comes out. So they just throw out the global on top of it. And the damage just wasn't there. They couldn't get their spells out in time. And the Shaker not being able to use his ulti during the engagement also didn't help. By the way, Pycat's actually going for Shadow Blade.
Yes.
Which I think is extremely interesting given their team composition. I think having multiple blinks is like so good against Vegas heroes, because now that Global's down, you have Blink Dagger up. He would have the money for it if he didn't buy the Shadow Amulet. you can just blink and go for the combo. But maybe he doesn't like to play it the same way that Bambo does. Because Bambo plays more of like a space-creating mobile Tiny. This could be more of the position 1 carry-oriented Tiny.
It's going to be interesting to see how well it works against the side of Vega. We've seen in previous games, these guys are very good at warding and keeping control of the map, so they'll probably have the sentries ready and waiting when it gets revealed. Going to see this side of 4 Clovers moving in. Oh, and he has got that remnant, but I believe that is his only one that he just put there on the high ground. Going to move in on him, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're going to be able to disengage for this moment, but 11 for 5 at the moment. Vega still looking in the good position. And there we go. That's your item finished on Tiny, but Vega looking to fight. Smoke to... Oh, there's a smoke from 4 Clovers as well. Smoke on smoke action here, potentially. 4 Clovers hanging around the tier 1 in the mid lane. Vega seeing if they can find a wraparound, and there we go. That's the big spell we're waiting for. 3 seconds to the global silence. And that's when it's going to be go time. They know that they can take a fight. It's going to be pretty much impossible for 4 Clovers to turn. Neequa's revealed himself in the mid lane. They missed the shearing chains. They won't miss the shards, and they won't miss the snowball. Or maybe they will. Neequa actually getting himself away, and he's going to be able to live. There's a remnant across this. They found Pikecat. No one's trying to chase him down, but Pikecat hiding in the tree line, and now with the Shadow Blade. May look to try and move back in on this one. They do still have the global silence here, Vega. Pikecat trying to set it up. He find himself the opening one with the Fisher and the blowing up of the IO. They do. That's the IO down. Global silence has now been used, but 4 Clovers, they may be able to fight off the back of this. Neequa trying to get position, gets the RP out to Passion out with the feast grip onto Nolan as well. Can they bring them down with the Winter's Curse? The control is there. They found themselves the gyro. Can they get themselves anything else here? No one's still alive. The Fisher comes out. No one gets bursted. Echo slam to the face. A third down on the side of Vega, and now it's just the Silencer and the Tusk getting themselves out. They'll look for the Silencer. The Nightmare setting it up onto Mag as well. The Nightmare will actually be toggled off, and Mag's turning this. Gets the punch onto the Wyvern, avalanche for the low ground, won't reach, and now the snowball, bringing him up, bringing him back straight into the face of EGM. The brace snaps there, the right click, EGM's still alive, Solo's come back into the fight on the IO, trying to get Pikecat, but Pikecat walks this one off. EGM again with the Nightmare, keeping them away from him, and EGM trying to walk this one off, Solo desperately chasing, but EGM might get away with this. I mean, it was a bit of a mess of a fight. 4 Clovers did lose a lot, EGM looked okay. No, it's not going to work.
That was like the most impressive display of individual skill on both teams.
That was
like that team fight was
actually
a mess,
but
insane.
it was a beautiful mess.
So the global on Sioma came out like very quickly. We'll get to see the
Let's
whole thing
have a look.
again, so we can just go through it step by step. So it starts off, the Wisp immediately dies, but if you watch how fast that global comes out, like they didn't even have detection. That was crazy. So he gets a Nightmare here onto Tusk to stop him from canceling the grip, and you see if EGM, like one target gets RP'd, the other gets gripped, and then as soon as they walk into each other, he throws out a curse to make sure the gyro actually dies on top of the Tiny combo. And they keep chasing out here. They drop a solo Echo to make sure that they can actually kill the Ember at the end of this fight. And like mid-air, this Tusk goes in for a snowball save after Sioma toggles the Nightmare onto himself to stop them from dealing damage, while he simultaneously gets a block with an Ice Shards and stops an Avalanche from coming through. And we just saw the snowball there actually disjoint the auto attack that would have killed anyway. Like this whole fight, that was the only mistake I saw was he misses Ice Shards there. He would have killed Pikecat otherwise.
Well, there's another fight going on as Bambo gets taken down. Of course, shout out to thescore eSports. Lads over there for bringing us that replay.
That was insane.
That was a pretty insane replay. 16 for 9.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's going to calm down a little bit, but 17 minutes in. Of course, this being the deciding match to get you through to day 2. The loser of this match will have to play another best of 3 today. So a lot on the line for both of these teams is a ticket to day 2 and going up against, I believe it's either OG or Alliance. It's going to be the dream for these guys.
I gotta say, man, like for CL, coming into this matchup, you gotta be thinking of it like you know you're the underdog, right? Like there's no real surprise there, but the way they're playing this out, just going for blow in a game 3 with Vega, it's very impressive to me. Like I knew that CL were a pretty good team, and on a good day they could take a game off of anyone, but Vega are certainly no pushovers, and of course CL are definitely making a game in this. So pushing in mid, Vega still have everything up. Global is now ready to go.
Okay, smoke up from 4 Clovers. They want to try and fight. They want to try and find Pasha. There's the toss forward, straight on with the Echo Slam coming out, but there's the global silence. They're ready to turn here, the side of Vega, and they're looking to try and take down Bambo, and they will. That's going to be the Earthshaker down. Let's see if they can find anything more here. 1. Position on the high ground. Pikecat sitting there with the Shadow Blade. Just slide down. Looks like Vega will just disengage, so they do use the global, but it does manage to get them the kill on the Shaker.
I mean, that's a tier 1 too.
Keeps the gyro alive as well.
Yeah, that was a very good global.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, his reaction time is insane. That was like less than a second, and he just had the global. I mean, they probably saw the Tiny flying in the air, so maybe it wasn't like a total reactionary play like the last one we saw mid.
Dire's bottom
But either
tower
way, the
is
silencer is
under
working out
attack.
pretty well so far for Vega. Good stuff. The one nice thing that ForceCL have going for them is it's not really easy for Vega to take Roshan. Like, their team is pretty meh in terms of kill speed on Roshan until a bit later, and their Gyrocopter doesn't have Dominator yet either, so they have no real way of sustaining through. I don't believe anyone has an urn yet, right? Okay, the Tusk does. All right, so they do have an urn on somebody.
And I guess not only the fact that their team isn't very good at taking Roshan, 4Clover's team is very good at fighting someone that's taking Roshan.
Yes, that is also very true. The one big difference, though, that we see this game for 4CL's lineup as opposed to earlier when we saw them playing when they had Shaker is the blink timing on Bambo is so much slower. Like, he would have had his blink, what, 4 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago? We were talking about that previous series, but he's still 900 away.
Oh, no one!
Nice kill.
Oh, that is a big kill as well.
That was a Shadow Blade and a double damage.
Oh, wow, look, we've got the Nightmare and Solo here. Can they follow through with this as well? There is a Tusk
They
there.
can just toss him.
There's double damage on this Pycat. And that's another one gone.
That was
Dire's middle
one
tower
hit.
is under attack.
He's got
And
the
a
DD.
toss.
He's got the DD.
I think they brain stepped him too, actually. Yeah.
Okay, and now Vega, they've got to be careful. Mag to walk himself away. They've still got a Fiend's Grip. If anyone from the side of Vega comes close, and 4Clovers will use this to just put a bit of pressure onto the tier 2 on the bottom lane, and
Dire's structures are fortified.
might just get it. The fortification has come out.
I think they will get it,
Yeah,
yeah.
Pycat's going to stick around for this one, and this is a Pycat who is now just about 750 gold away from a completed Aghanim's, 20
Yeah.
minutes in on top of a Shadow Blade.
Yeah, I like the Shadow Blade pickup after thinking about it more. I was kind of looking at the lineup of Vega and saying, okay, well, they can 5-man, but there is also an equal chance that this could turn into a split pushing game. And in that sense, having the Shadow Blade makes it really scary for heroes like Wisp and Silencer to really be alone, because it means you just die. Like, if you get caught out, boom, you're dead. Also makes them have to buy more detection, whereas just having a blink, you can get scouted out walking under wards, so you might not always be able to find those pickoffs, but the Shadow Blade not only increases your farming speed, as opposed to Blink, where you might have more mobility and getting around in the jungle, but you don't deal as much physical damage.
Oh, Pycat, have some mercy here. He's looking for no one.
Get him.
Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. The 1-2, it's enough. And again, another massive pick-off there for 4Clovers, taking down the Ember Spirit with what looks to be incredible ease. Sax is in a bit of trouble, though. Max coming in with the punch. And, yeah, Sax, oh, is he going to... No.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Okay.
Okay, maybe not. The curse?
Oh.
Okay.
Saxa.
That Glimmer
okay.
Cape saved his life for sure.
Definitely.
But the thing that's really scary right now, if you're Vega, is thinking about going late game against Mag with a Tiny. Like, if you have Aghanims, and then you have Empower on top of said Aghanims, because Tiny is all base damage, right? So you're getting a huge increase. It's plus 90 for him.
Oh my goodness.
Well, actually, that's the Shadow Blade damage too. So I guess technically it's what, plus 68? Yeah, that sounds right. So 68 damage that he gets from Empower.
Now look at this. This is going to be, and you know, factor into that the Aghanims, that cleave on top of it.
But that's only level 2 Empower, and he's getting 68 damage.
It's going to get a lot more painful for the side of Vega. But Vega still, they've got relatively good farm here on the Gyro. It's bang on really with the Tiny. It's a very close deciding game, and I don't know, after just seeing this Tiny delete heroes and deleting the Ember Spirit just like that, it feels like 4Clovers, they're in the more comfortable position with their heroes.
Yeah, but I think they still need to apply a little bit more pressure. Like, going ultra late game against a hero like Ember Spirit can always be pretty daunting, just because of the way that he works, right? You never really have to commit to a fight. You spam your Sleight of Fist. You got Snowball Save, you got Relocate and Global to back you up, so it's really hard to catch him unless you do what Pycat's doing, which is just find him with a Shadow Blade and kill him when he's fighting outside of base. But I think, like, 4CL might want to try to apply a tiny bit more pressure. Like, they can get the tier 1s, I think, without too much risk, or at least poke at them, but they're playing it very safe right now.
And they are at the moment. Turning it down a bit. I mean, we just saw Bambo. He just picked up the blink. And I guess at this point, Pycat was level 15. And the Battle Fury now done on Ember Spirit. So be a little bit more ready for these fights. 4-star from Blink on Magnus. Nico's got 2k gold on top of that as well. I mean, I guess at this point, is this where you just have to get the BKB on the Magnus just to ensure that you can fight around that global silence and still find the RPs?
It's either BKB or Lotus,
Yeah.
and I think BKB is the better choice for this game. Like, Lotus is that item that you buy when you really only need to worry about one thing. But the fact of the matter is, a snowball, a searing chain, you know, even eating cooldown damage can be pretty detrimental. So I do think that BKB is the best choice right now.
Bottom lane, Vega looking poised to fight. You've got a bit of pressure being applied by Pasture. Some of them hiding in the trees, maybe looking for the bait. Is it going to work out, though? They will find the tower. They're not going to be able to find any kills with it, though. At the same time, 4 Clovers, they're looking to try and take something top. Pycat bolting in, clearing out the wave. 1,800 gold now for himself on top of the Aghanims. I mean, is this a Tanya that needs a BKB himself, or do we just go for more DPS, more physical, more armor, get the AC online?
I think the AC is a great choice here. Oh, TP reaction here. Some Power Rangers going on from Vega. I think they're tier 1. Not in deny range just yet. Maybe they TP'd a little bit too fast. But I do think AC is a solid option. He could just as easily go BKB too. There's nothing wrong with it. Their team does so much damage. Like,
last year they were ready, yeah.
He can actually go BKB and still deal a tremendous amount of DPS in team fights just because of Empower. So it depends. If 4CL want to contest Roshan and they want to try to actually apply a lot of map control, then I think that going BKB is the right call. Because it means that even if you get globaled and you get caught out, BKB TP, unless they have the Walrus Punch on you, you can get out of any bad situation. And you can also just freely cleave people in team fights if you have that BKB, because there's only one disabled that goes through it.
Vega now smoked up. They are making motions towards the Roche pit. We'll see if they're able to try and go for that one, and we'll see if 4 Clovers can react in time. They're not really anywhere close to. But I mean, the speed that Vega take this isn't going to be too great, so there will be a chance for them to come over. If they start to make the move now, and they might just do that. They've got a smoke, 4 Clovers. They may be aware that something's going on. Roshan, it's down to about 2/3 of its health. Can 4 Clovers get her in time, Andy?
I think if they know, they definitely can. I mean, this is what we're talking about. They kill it so slow.
Yeah.
Like, their team is not very good at killing Roshan.
Oh, this is going to be absolutely huge. They're coming around the corner. Max there. He's ready to try and turn, but Nikwa goes in, gets the RP onto 2. There'll be a snowball straight away to Nikwa. The global silencers come out, so there's no follow-up on 4 Clovers. And they'll lose the Magnus. Great reaction on the BKB and great reaction on the global, but Pycat's coming in. Oh! Echo Slam onto 2, and the damage from this Tiny is just too much here. Pycat cleaving through the Winter's Curse. Max gonna fall down as well, almost certainly. There's a snowball biting him sometime. He's got the Glimmer Cape. But the Silencer's stuck in the pit. They have lost 2 4 Clovers, but they'll take down 4. And they'll take the Roshan as well. So even though it looked like Vega were ready to deal with the initiation there after the RP and the Global Silence came out, 4 Clovers, they were just ready to fight back into it. They've got so much control in these team fights.
God, that was
and that
so big.
Echo Slam from Bambo.
That was actually such a good fight for 4CL. It's like I was saying, though, it's not just about the RP that's scary. It's everyone on the side of 4CL brings their own potent team fight to the table. So using Global and only getting a kill on 1 hero, I don't think was quite enough, and showcased by the fact that 4CL handedly take that after getting a nice 2-man Avatos and an Echo Slam coming in from Bambo. That was just super unfortunate. And no one actually went for an auto attack on Pycat and got craggied. So he couldn't go to his Remnant, and then he got cursed on top of that.
Yeah, the
so it was like,
huge.
Yeah, it was a little bit of bad luck, and in conjunction with only being able to kill the Mag at the beginning of the fight. So all things considered, 4CL looking to be in fantastic shape, and looks like the choice of item for Pycat is going to be Butterfly.
And I do like this as well, because you look over at the Jara and you look over at the Ember Spirit.
No,
neither of them are going to be
insane.
getting an MKB anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a really solid choice. I think it's good for the Ultra carry, and you can even go back for AC if you want both. It's not bad. It's usually AC is the choice because either the heroes on the other team are going to have MKB, or you want to be able to push. And I think that AC is the better pushing item, but if you want to go for a late game scenario, Butterfly is very good.
Vega are going to want to be a lot more careful with these fights that they take. I mean, we already knew it was going to be a risk when they went for Roshan. It certainly didn't end up paying off. That swing hit. 4 Clovers going into this series, as you said yourself. You would have known that they were the underdogs, but they are playing Dota at the same level as Vega, and potentially even higher here at the moment. As after that fight, they're certainly the ones with the lead in this game.
Yeah, they have actually just completely stepped up their game. You know, some teams, it's said that they actually play better on LAN than they do normally, like when you're just playing a normal online tournament. But I think 4CL could be one of those teams. And they have, like, every single person on their team, barring Saksa, has played a tremendous amount of Dota on land. You know what I mean? It's a very, very experienced roster, so not surprised to see them step up their game against a great opponent like Vega here in this third game. But Vega aren't out of it just yet.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I mean, you said already, you know, with their composition, they've got every opportunity to take these fights to turn them around.
Yeah. The biggest issue that they're running into right now is they actually just don't have the damage output yet. Because Silencer and Wisp, these are not damage dealing supports. They have very specific functions in the lineup. Silencer is meant to stop initiation or help their own initiation secure a kill. And the Wisp is pretty much a relocate out and a mech at this point. Like that's his only purpose. Spirit damage is not really as threatening as it used to be. The Ember and the Gyro are supposed to be carrying the damage output right now, I guess, in conjunction with the Tusk, but against Tiny, who has 2,300 health and a Butterfly, dear God, okay. He's mega dead. But the Ember is not quite to the point where his Sleight of Fist is going to stop 4CL from pushing. And having to go back for Blink instead of going for another damage item on top of that means that Pasha has to go all damage. He's going for what I can only assume is an MKB right now, as he has Demon Edge in his inventory, but double damage on the Tiny. This tower is just going to melt. Yeah. He doesn't even use his
He's going to save it probably for the high ground push at this point. He's still got that Aegis. They're going to feel confident pushing for more here for Clovers. Let's see if Vega can stop it. Like just being topped up here by the Cold Embrace. Power coming in out again from Nikwa. And here we go. This is going to be the push. DD's out. Look at these
Lord.
slaps. Fortification has to come out straight away.
That was 3 hits.
And Pycat is going to play it safe here. Just sticks back, clears out the wave, and okay, Ember coming in with a slight. Remember's back out. I don't know if you wanted to TP there. Okay, Snowball saved. They got a Snowball. Global Silence has come out as well. They should be keeping from Pasha, but still, the right clicks from Pycat are too much, and he's got the Aegis. Winter's Curse now onto no one. Niko's there with the Skewer. He's also got an RP, but he's a little bit too late. The Remnant came out in time. Ember gets himself out of there. But that is Pasha down for 50 seconds, and he does not have buyback. I don't know if that TP was the play, Andy.
It must have been a misclick. I don't think he meant to TP that far forward. Like maybe he meant to TP on the high ground and missed. He's fine. This could be Rex, so there's no glyph. I don't know, man. That was a super questionable TP.
I'll take the range racks. They'll probably want to stick around for more. I mean, still 30 seconds without this Gyro, but it looks like they're playing it safe.
Yeah, I think playing it safe is fine. Or they could just wait for the creep wave too.
Yeah, just get the creep wave and go in for more.
That works out. Okay, so BKB now purchased on Mag.
Getting this Rax could be...
If they get this Rax and Pycat buys BKB, I think they have an insanely hard time stopping him. And he's almost got it. So.
Oh, he's not. He's been a bit careful now. Now Vega maybe looking to turn. Just has come out. They'll have the Snowball falling onto Pycat, but there's the defensive nightmare there. Nico screwing himself across. Now no one coming in. The snap from Bambo, catching out Pasha and Shima on the back lines of this. Pycat thinking about trying to go back in, but the sentry's being dropped. There's a Fiend's Grip onto no one. The cooldown's coming in from Pasha. He's trying to turn. He's found one. He's going to look for two as he moves on to Saxon with a Rocket Barrage, and he will get it. They'll take down two from the side of 4 Clovers. That is going to be the gem going back the way of Vega. So the defense, well, they lose the range racks. They don't lose the melee. And they do take 2 kills off the back of it, and a gem.
Maybe a bit too hesitant there from 4CL. Like, I think they could have easily taken the racks. And even trading Pycat's life for it, I think, is worth it at this point. Just because that's guaranteed damage, you know? Throughout the entire game, that wave's going to be pushing in. They only have 2 heroes that can really deal with it. The Ember and the Gyro. Like, even the Tusk is going to have a hard time stopping that split push. The Silencer and the IO can't really do it at all. But they end up paying for it. They lose their supports. They lose the gem. Getting Vega a little bit of momentum at least for the time being. Now this game so far, like 4CL, once this Tiny gets BKB, he's just gonna walk up to buildings. Like, what are you gonna do?
He's got it. He is ready. He's absolutely ready for this one. Pasha, still a bit of money to go before he has got that MKB, so he can at least try and do something against Pycat when he comes in with a push in his BKB. But this Tiny, I mean, we knew that Bambo could play it, and now we're seeing that Pycat, he can very much step up to the mark and have an absolute game so far on the hero.
God, and power is just insane on this hero.
And Pasha, oh, if they catch Pasha out here at this point, they did just see him on that ward.
Yeah.
They're trying to close around here, trying to scrap in. Look for the avalanche, but Mag is there, actually throws down the shards. I think he's going to want to get himself out of this one, though, and indeed doesn't want to try and initiate. Hasn't got the backup of his team. There'll be a smoke now picked up by Bambo on the Shaker. We may very well see Four Clovers trying to go for more. They're just trying to push in this top lane at the moment, trying to take this final tier 2 away from the side of Vega to expose their base just that little bit more. But I mean, what's the game plan here for Vega? I feel that they really need at least another item on no one on this Ember Spirit who's just sitting on the Battle Fury Blink. And they do need to finish off this MKB on the jar.
Yeah, you got to hold high ground. I mean, that's really what you go for now. You got Ember, you got Gyro, fight and choke points, try to land a good call down, throw out some Sleight of Fist, try to whittle 4CL down before they can just go up to your base with a Tiny who has Empower and just start beating away at your tier 3s. The scary part about it is that Vega still don't have Glyph for another minute. So if Pycat wants to pop a 10-second BKB just to deal tower damage, at this point I think that's perfectly okay, as long as you disengage when the BKB is down. Because you don't want to get into a situation where you don't have BKB and then the enemy team is able to initiate on you with a global silence. It gets very, very risky at that point. But I guess even having BKB up on the Magnus now, you can just break the silence, go back in. Because if they go on some hero, they will have to global. Like, they can't wait. Because if the counter initiation comes out from Nikwa and they're not ready, then the fight's just over. Like, a good RP wins in the game at this point.
They want to play it safe as well. They're picking out Roshan. Roshan is actually going to be one of the shorter respawn timers, coming up in just under a minute. So if Four Clovers do hang around and are able to take this, it's certainly going to make the defense that little bit harder for Vega if Pycat's got 2 lives in him again.
Yeah, Roshan's been pretty much the story of the game for me. There's that one Roshan fight where Vega kind of got it really low. 4CL come in, they get that RP that baits a global, and they still take the fight 4v5. Like, that was pretty much the point of the game where it got real tough.
Versus Pycat. Pycat with the damage, the right clicks.
God.
Pycat, he's going to be able to get himself away there. The mech coming out from the eye, just topping him up. That was incredibly close there, Pycat. Nearly being able to find that.
He misses Avalanche, right? Like, he BKB'd before the
BKB was in time, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens. When you're chasing a hero who's really fast, you want to try to go for the auto attack out of Shadow Blade to maximize your damage. And then he threw the Avalanche, but the thing is he got so much distance between that auto that he was able to BKB in time, so. A little bit unfortunate, but Pycat's going to be fine with it as he's now picked up a crit.
No one just pushing down this lane. Got Saxa waiting on the sideline, but straight away with the Remnant, getting himself out, and Roshan is back now.
They kill it in like 10 seconds.
I was going to say, they could take this so quick with the empowers. Do they want to go for it? I mean,
I think if Vega don't fight this, they have to stack a set of racks. Like, the global doesn't really do much at this point, and the Wisp isn't really being utilized because they can't relocate gank a team who's sitting together as 5, you know? And when you have map control, the IO can't really do much for you anymore. Like, you need to have another hero who can push the lane or hit towers and deal a lot of damage. That's why you so often see like CK or Sven or Tiny partnered with Wisp, because those heroes actually kill buildings. You know, an Ember Spirit and a Gyro, they don't really kill buildings that fast. So you can't go for the backdoor play, you just have to go for fights.
Well seen Passion out of the MKB. So he's got a little bit more potential in these fights, see if they can find how to begin them, and well, Pycat
scouted.
Has to be careful here. Vega is smoked up. They'd love to try and find a jump in from the high ground position. Four Clovers playing it safe, getting the D-Ward. Not yet going back into the pit here. I think after realizing that Vega is so close, they'd love to try and maybe take the fight themselves and find a pick-off before going in for the Aegis. You know, they know that they have got this power here on this Tiny. And if they can find a jump, they should be able to find a quick pick-off. BKBs are out as well, of course, on the notable heroes like the Magnus. They can continue to fight, and yeah, Vega just playing this very careful.
This is really nice play, though, from 4CL as well. They drop a sentry on the high ground to get the very common D-ward spots to make sure that they have the high ground advantage.
And here we go, Saxa. Okay, moving in with the Arctic Burn. Gets the slow off onto Mag. Still trying to chase it with the blinking as well, but Pasha is there. There'll be a snowball onto Saxa. The cooldown as well, but the Winter skirts onto Mag, and he actually gets relocated out. They'll take Mag out of this one. Nico puts the BKB, the RP, controlling Pasha.
Oh my God!
Right click from Pycat. It's a double kill. This man is an absolute monster, and he's looking for more. There'll be the relocate back down to the low ground there from the IO. Tethers across to the range creep, but this man is certainly a dead man. Another kill for the side of Four Clovers.
I think they just go mid, right? Yeah.
Yeah, screw the Aegis.
They're going to force buybacks.
They'll take their X instead. I mean,
oh, they have Glyph and they have buybacks too, so.
Again, another fight where Vega just did not have an answer. And the global silence earlier might have been enough, but now it just isn't. There'll be a buyback on your Ember Spirit. Fortification as well. And they're going to stick around here. Pycat. Oh, he's going to commit. Oh,
The Craggy!
the Craggy! Oh, the Nightmare now to Mac. Mac gets tossed up, and he's in trouble. Has got the snowball. Pycat with the Shadow Blade, but Pycat might just turn. There's a Fisher. Bambo comes in, looking for the slap, but there's a Glimmer Cape keeping Mac alive. He's going to be able to go turn around, gets the punch up with the slam. Comes up from Bambo, not quite enough to kill Mac. Mac will walk this one off, and Bambo pays with his life. But they do get the racks. Daedalus now picked up here by the Tiny. Another, may seem small, but it's still going to be a very impactful pickup from the Wyvern as he has the Vladimirs as well.
Yeah, it's huge for Tiny.
Pycat, he's just going to be doing so much damage, and we've seen it already. This might, he just cleaves through the lineup of Vega.
The hilarious thing about it was during that engagement, the Ember blinks forward to try to help the Gyro, right? Because he realizes, okay, Pasha's going to die if I don't go in. He goes in, the Empower's on Tiny. With Empower and Aghanims, he cleaves 100% of his damage. So if he's hitting somebody near you, you are also being hit for the full brunt of it.
Literally.
And he got 2 shots.
Yeah.
Literally 2 shots.
Oh, okay, Vega, they're going for Roshan, and this is what they need to do. If they can get this, I mean, that's a big if.
There's no shaker, so...
And they've just got RPs just come back online. They've
This
got to
is
get
their shot
themselves
to
in
get
full
back here.
clovers. Yeah. Oh, Nikwa going in with the BKB, the RP onto 2. It's Van Pasha and Sherman, but they did get off the BKB on this Gyro. The rest are moving in. Here comes Pycat, looking for him, but the relocate's out there. We'll take some of them out, but now Fisher onto 2 from the sidelines. Bambo trying to deal with the silencer. Roshan's going to go down, and they will be able to get the Aegis here on the Gyrocopter. Pycat with the right clicks takes down Pasha. Look at this damage from this man. Pycat may be in trouble though, because the global silence is out. He does not have BKB, but he doesn't care. He just continues to slap away, continues to fight. Look at this damage, 1-2, but he will get taken down. Pycat now down for 90 seconds, and this could be the turnaround that Vega needed. They move on to EGM. They'll get themselves a double kill here on the Gyrocopter. The gem goes back into their hands. And Vega finding, I mean, the fact that they take down this Tiny for 90 seconds, they got away with the Roche attempt. It was the risk that they needed to go for, and it was a risk that this time, it does pay off.
That was such a necessary fight for Vega. Like, if they don't take that in a big way, this game gets really, really difficult, and I'm pretty sure Bambo is regretting the fact that he dropped Echo in that fight inside of the base to try to kill the Tusk. Because if he had it there, maybe the fight would have been a little bit different, and of course, he did end up trading his own life, which meant that Vega knew that they could go on the Roshan pit in the first place. So there's really small things allowing them to get themselves ahead, and finally, they take down the Tiny. It seemed like Pycat was nigh unkillable for a long time, but Pasha having the MKB finally allows them to have the actual kill potential on the hero, whereas before they just simply did not have the DPS. But the Ember living through that fight means that he went from having like just a Battle Fury and a Blink to almost a full Daedalus. So things are getting a little bit more scary for 4CL as this game kind of rolls on.
Yeah, we're seeing on the graph now, it's started to turn, heading back down towards Vega. It's still very much in Four Clovers region in terms of the gold. And it's going to be a Shadow Blade now picked up on the Magnus as well. So another way that Nico can look to try and get himself in position for those RPs. I mean, which at this point it's all about. If you do get a good RP to start the fight off and you're able to get Pycat following through the damage, that's...
Yeah, if you get a good RP, those heroes are dead. 100% cleave on a Tiny. You get 1 crit. He crit the Gyro for 1,600 damage.
That's
that
a lot
one
of
shot anybody on the side of Vega, except for the Gyro, and who still almost dies.
647 right clicker on Pycat.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even with the Vladzora.
Nope.
So the thing about this lineup is it's very built around just buffing up the Tiny as much as you can. Like having Vlads and Empower, that base damage increase alone, like the Vlads on the Winter Wyvern, it's like an extra 15%.
Yeah, look at that now with that aura as well. 696.
Yeah, he pretty much hits for 700 damage.
Pretty much. We'll round it up. 700 right click.
I think he goes back maybe for AC and sells a Shadow Blade now. I think that's... Like, the Shadow Blade is still useful in the sense that it helps you control the pace of the game if Vega are feeling confident in leaving their base. But AC is so nice when the MKB is out on Gyro because it just mitigates a lot more of the right-click damage.
I've got a Halberd out on this Tusk. Maybe something they could try and use to deal with this Tiny. He has, of course, got the BKB. It's still on a 7-second duration as well. But maybe, just maybe, did he just find that opening after the BKB's worn off to shut him down? I mean, it is going to be big if they can get that Halberd out.
The BKB duration is getting lower, so that's always something to keep in mind if you're Pycat. Once your BKB gets to 5 seconds, you need to make sure you've done a ton of damage in that window.
And here we go in the mid lane, kicking off, moving forward. The BKB coming out from Pasha, ready to try and go on to Nikwa. Nikwa strews himself away. He is still alive, but the punch from Mag will take him down. That's one down. Pycat, oh my bloody god, that damage. That's going to be a silencer gone. And now he's over Pasha. The cleave damage is flying up onto Mag. They're trying to move it, but Pycat, the damage is too much. The Winter's Curse comes out. It's the third one down on the side of Vega. Mayday indeed for the gyrocopter. The solo IO trying to get away, but he's not going to. It's another kill for 4 Clovers. This damage is just too much for them to deal with, and Pycat is entirely out of control.
Is under attack.
That poor Ember Spirit.
Look at the damage dealt. I mean,
And Silva too, he got one shot. He actually just got hit one time and died. That is, yeah, well, this is what happens, I guess, when you have a near 6-slotted Tiny who has some power.
I mean, this is going to be at least
All right,
GG well played. The Tiny was too much. 4CNL taking the series, moving themselves forward to day 2. Vega, of course, will be back with a second chance today. But 4 Clovers did it, and they take down Vega 2-1, which that's going to have impressed a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I gotta say, I came into the series thinking that Vega were the heavy favorite. Like, it wasn't even a small underdog thing. It was more like, I think Vega should win, you know? But, I mean, 4CL showing once again that they can hang with some of the best. Very impressive stuff, especially from Pycat. He had a phenomenal game. I really like the synergy of the team that they picked, and the silencer fell a little bit flat for Vega. I think Sioma, his timing on his globals wasn't bad. It was just that they never really had the follow-up to utilize the global, you know? They used it defensively a lot of the time, and it just never really felt to me like they were able to deal enough damage in that window to secure themselves a teamfight win. And outside of that, 4CL's lineup was just a little bit stronger.
Absolutely insane. 4CNL are going to be very happy with that one. And of course, that's them done for today. They will be back tomorrow to play in day 2 of the DreamLeague LAN finals. But again, what a performance. We will see Vega again today. They'll have another chance at getting themselves through to day 2. But that's it from myself and Andy as we head over back to the panel to hear what they have to say about that pretty incredible series.
An incredible series indeed. I think PPD, you asked before this game, we had game 1, one-sided for Vega, game 2, one-sided for 4 Clovers. The rest were a fairly even game. I think you got it.
Yeah, we definitely got that. That was a amazing like back and forth game. Like towards the end, I thought Vega was gonna win, and then that last team fight, you know, Pycat just turned it all around.
That Tiny though. I mean, could Vega have done anything at some point? I mean,
of course, there's always things you can do to improve on, and they'll probably look back on this replay and be like, oh, we could have done this, could have done that, but unfortunately, just 4CL is too strong right now.
I mean, there was a lot of unfortunate RNG. Ember blinked in twice and got craggy straight up. It's like,
yeah,
maybe that could have helped out.
I don't think you should be that close to Tiny.
Exactly.
That's true. And Bambo also wanted to help out, you know, fishing the gyro away from the Tiny. It's like, hey, half the Aegis. That was helpful for them. But
that was the fight where I was like, oh, maybe Vega has a chance.
Yeah.
What was the story of the game for you?
Oh, Tiny was the biggest story. I think that kind of goes without saying, but let's say it anyway. Obviously incredible. I think the last team fight, Pycat dealt 10,000 damage. I can't remember the last time I've seen that, actually, a single hero dealing that much damage in one fight. And the reason he got to deal so much damage was actually the gyrocopter getting the Satanic. And when they started hitting each other and Pasha actually healed up so much, I thought he was going to be able to man-fight long enough that they could assist. Then Pycat gets a crit. And the fight is just over the moment he does that. So, yeah, the Tiny got ridiculously big. I think the reason we even got this much of a game was actually the silencer last pick from Vega. I think it was a great solution that worked out pretty well. But there are a lot of stories in this game that it was really easily the best game of the tournament so far.
I would agree, and also a lot of fights happening in that game, and Luminous has selected one for our replay.
I think this fight was replayed once during the game, but I mean, it was such a long fight that we could watch it again. I think this fight really showcased the strength and the weakness of Silencer as the game went on, is that Global was really good early as you could global and then do stuff then. But as the game went on and there was so much more HP pool on the side of Radiant, then they just kind of outlasted the global and just fought you after. But amazing start of the fight for 4CL as they dropped a whole bunch of their ultimates. And as the fight dragged on, Mag was able to make some insane plays. The toggle and the Nightmare here was absolutely beautiful and allowed them to get a snowball and an earn off. So Simo was, look at that play, like snowball, what a spell. And they kind of just outplayed the Bane for a long time. But I don't know, I felt the game, like this fight was amazingly back and forth and was a blast to watch.
Those ice shards right there, if they catch the Tiny, that has a huge impact on the game. But the fact that Pycat gets out of that alive is... There were a lot of those moments, but it's one of those that, like PPD said, they can go back and look at and be like, okay, this miss on that spell is actually maybe the most crucial part of that team fight. They managed to recover it, and then they miss out on the most important kill.
Yeah, and during the laning stage, we have, of course, Nico on the Magnus, which is not a hero that we often see him on, but he played amazingly well, and we have a chance to talk to Nico in a winner's interview. Welcome to the panel, Nico, and of course, congratulations. You had the rest of the day off?
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. The dream, as Bamo actually called it, the dream that have tomorrow already in sight. So, you played Magnus, not a hero that you normally play, or that we normally see you play, let's put it that way. How did you enjoy the game as Magnus?
I was kind of sad because I played horrible. I mean...
Wow. That is crazy. I don't know.
There you
I
go.
think we're good now.
That's better.
Yeah, well, my job was pretty much get Global Silence out and hopefully BKB and get my ult off on 1 or 2 people before I die. And my team played it amazing.
I think you did really well, because at some point during in a Roche pit, you went in for a fight, and you said you baited out the global ulti. You did just that. You happened to die, but the rest of the team cleaned up for you.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of the last big silencer for Vega Squadron?
Was obviously super good, since we had a wombo combo team, whatever. Our ult is, every single ult was pretty much important, so it kind of made us play like we have to bait out with 1 ulti, global, and then we can re-engage.
Do you feel like maybe Bambo, did he complain during the game that he lost a lot of intellect? No?
Not really.
How was the atmosphere in the game for your team?
Was good, really good.
You guys excited? That was a pretty big win for you guys.
Yeah.
How important do you think this win was, like, over one of the big favorites, and then moving forward against, you know, tomorrow, is it OG or Alliance? That
OG.
OG. How is that, like, do you feel like you
don't
beat
they play
OG?
Alliance?
I believe
They play Alliance.
they would actually play Alliance, you're right.
You play Alliance.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now with that win, like Alliance is also easy and straight to the winners final?
We have played a few officials against Alliance and
Done pretty well.
Yeah, we have beaten them to go at least 2 times.
Okay.
So at least I feel very confident going against Alliance.
That's great.
Of course, the first game of this series didn't go so well for you guys. What do you feel was the cause for that? It was a game where you played Alchemist.
Yeah.
That pick.
I mean, we tried to fight them when we really shouldn't have, since we had both Alka and Ember, so we were gonna scale way more than they. And we still took these stupid fights, and we kind of got baited in at least twice.
Okay, so what are you gonna do for the rest of the day, now that you have some free time?
I'm probably gonna watch the game and then maybe grab a drink or...
Play Dota? Grab a drink, play Dota?
Yeah,
both?
maybe.
Well, wish you good luck, of course, tomorrow. Have a good time until then, and hopefully we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you too. And we can take a look at the brackets as we have got them updated and see where the teams are standing right now. We have indeed Alliance going up against 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun tomorrow. But of course we're not done today yet. We have still got some elimination matches to play. Team Empire versus Monkey Freedom Fighters will be our first elimination, best of 3, followed by the winner of that match taking on the Vega Squadron, of course, the losers of the match that we just witnessed. So we're halfway through the day right about now. Of course, if you want to be kept up to date with the brackets and with all the games, you can purchase, or rather get yourself for free, the theScore eSports app on iTunes or